Hello everyone, I just wanted to make a quick video about how I do kefir. Kefir is fermented milk. It dates back to, I think the oldest kefir bacterial strain they found was from a sheep bladder in Mongolia that was like, I don't know, from very, very early on. I don't even want to say a year, but thousands of years old. People have been doing this a really long time. And people who do this every day are people who are known to have very long life and lots of health. So the flavor is kind of like a plain yogurt. It's kind of like a liquid plain yogurt. The texture is a little bit like baby spit up for lack of more appetizing description, but it's really not a big deal. I put it in things. I make ranch dressing with it a lot. It makes a good tangy ranch. I can share a recipe if you like. I put it in smoothies. A lot of people drink it straight. You can do all kinds of things with it. You can use it instead of buttermilk, although I'm sure cooking it probably kills some of the good bacteria. But so I like to use it in cold applications, but tons of benefits. A lot of people who are dairy intolerant, lactose intolerant can do it because the grains eat up a lot of the lactose. So a lot of people who are dairy-free can do kefir. The time commitment is just like 5 minutes daily. These are the things that you need. And honestly, I only do mine like sometimes once a week, especially in the cooler weather where it's just way more forgiving. When it's warm, it does ferment pretty quickly, but it's really hard to mess up. It's very, very forgiving in general. And you can stick it in the fridge if you need a break from it, or even just freeze some grains. If you need several months or a year off from doing it, freeze the grains and come back to it. If you need a few days or a week, if you're going on vacation, you can stick it in the fridge. It's very, very forgiving. So you'll need a spouted is what I like to use, either a measuring cup or a bowl. A vinyl fine mesh strainer. They say that plastic is better than stainless. It's very controversial in the kefir world. People say it doesn't matter. Some people say it does matter. I use plastic just in case it does. So I don't really know. So I have here a pickle jar with a coffee filter and a rubber band, and it is full of kefir that is ready to be strained. I've got my fresh whole milk that I'm going to use to feed the grains in a minute. And then I have an empty quart jar. You don't have to start off. This is about 2 cups, 2.5 cups, with like 24 ounces. So when my family is eating a lot of ranch dressing, especially in the summertime, and making smoothies, this is not enough to keep up with. But at this time of year when it's cooler, I really only feed it like once a week, maybe a little more often. And then we really just use it on ranch. I did have a smoothie today. But anyways, okay, so I'm going to show you how I strain the grains and what you can expect. So I will just see if I can do this with one hand. So I've been using this jar for a couple of weeks, and you can see it has like little crusty stuff around it, and that is normal. You don't have to wash your jar in between, which is actually one of the main things that appealed to me. See, this is very, very thick. It's been probably over a week since I've fed it and strained it, and that's okay. Like I said, it's very forgiving. If it's thinner, then it can be thinner. And then sometimes it will even separate. You can make not cottage cheese, but cream cheese. It will separate, the whey will separate out, and that's fine. You can just stir it to reincorporate it, or you can use some cheesecloth to strain off the whey and make a very funky tasting cream cheese. It's really good. You can mix it with herbs or anything like that. So I'm just going to keep doing that until it's all gone. Okay, so I've pretty much strained the liquid out. And I've got my grains here. I can continue to smash them a little bit. I had one friend who was working with it, and she was not she didn't agitate the grains enough. She strained them, but she didn't. And that actually helps to break them up a little bit. Gets more surface area, and it's good. It's good to agitate them and smash them up a little bit, press them through the strainer. But as you can see, these are the grains, and they kind of look like cottage cheese. You can eat these. You can put these in smoothies if you have an extra. I like to freeze about a tablespoon in a little bit of milk and give them away to friends. Maybe you are the recipient of one such project, but you can also put them in your compost. You know, they're great. It'd be like very concentrated probiotic pill to take it, to throw it in your smoothie. So I've strained off the grains, and I'm going to put these grains back in this jar now, back in that dirty looking jar. And that is what you are supposed to do, even if it feels wrong. Okay, so I've got my grains in my jar, and then I'm just going to pour. This is not organic. This is not raw. This is not anything fancy. Some people will say, I've even heard that it's totally fine because it eats, the kefir grains eat up anything negative that you would not want in your milk. So I don't really know those details about that. But I'm sure if you have raw organic milk, how could that be? How could that be worse? That would probably be best. But anyway, that's what I use. And I'm just stirring it to make sure that they get all incorporated there. So, and then I will just pop this exact same one right back on. Crud and all, it's all good. This guy will go in my pantry for at least 24 hours. I'm gonna put him here. After 24 hours, it should be thick. If it's not, let it keep going. You can pour it into a new jar. That would be a single ferment. If you want to do a double ferment, which eats up even more of the lactose, and it might be a little bit funkier, then you would want to strain it again and put the same kefir that you just strained also in the pantry right next to your new fresh milk. I know that's a little bit complicated, but you can do a single ferment or a double ferment. I always do double or longer, and I don't even strain it. I just leave, like, honestly, this sits in here for like a week, and that's what the last batch looked like. So I'm sure all the lactose is eaten up. Okay, so now I come back to here. I'm gonna save my spoon. Put the strainer in the sink, and then I am going to pour my fresh kefir. You can kind of see what the texture is like. It smells kind of lemony. That's what you want. You want it to smell a little bit lemony. In fact, it's really delicious, and it works really, really well to like actually put lemon peels in your kefir while it's fermenting. It enhances that lemony flavor, kind of like buttermilk. And then it's really yummy to make blueberry lemon smoothies with. So you can do all kinds of stuff with it. So there we go. And now I will put this in my refrigerator for up to 3 weeks. And honestly, I just will, like when I strain it again in another week, I'll probably just put that on top and mix them so they kind of even out in case one batch is just really funky. But there we go. There's kefir. Now you can make ranch or make smoothies or whatever you're going to do with it. You can use it like buttermilk. So many things. So let me know if you have any questions. I'm certainly not an expert, but I've been doing this for like 5 or 6 years now. So it's been good.